This summer have you down trying to figure out what to throw when it's super hot outside? Let's talk about it. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Fishing with Gramps, presented by American Legacy Fishing Company. My name is JT. Today we're going to talk about the baits that I love to throw when it's hot. So hot you wish you were just inside chilling, but you can't just sit at home because you know the dog days of summer. Might be able to get out and catch your biggest fish of the season. So first, let's set it up a little bit. Fish are most active early in the morning when the sun's coming up, or late way after the sun's gone down, because hey, they like it cooler too, and that's when they're up chasing all those different bait fish, those shad, the bluegill, so forth and so on. So if you manage to get up and out there at the crack of dawn, what are some of the baits you want to be throwing? Topwaters like a buzz bait are my favorite. I still like these old school Strike King Buzz Kings with the 3 blades on it. Why? Because it allows you to slow roll it a little more and give it a nice little plop 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 as it's going across the top of the water. Throw a rage crawl in the back of one of these. Great way to catch big bass. Now, if I throw this quite a bit and I don't see much surface activity going on, I'm immediately going to go to a jackhammer, thunder cricket, chatterbait, one of the bladed baits. My color selections are pretty simple. I'll throw a white spot remover or a bluegill color pattern, depending on what the forage is in the lakes. This is a 1/2 ounce. The most ones I throw most common are 3/8 ounce. Kind of in that go-between. But I've been actually having a lot of success this year on these little mini maxes. It's amazing what this little blade and just a little bit change of sound, can do. These Brett bluegill colors, they match perfectly with the 6 cents flush. And then again, my favorite trailer for the jackhammers, Yamamoto Seiko, the 6 cents flush. Just 2 awesome baits that really catch them. Sometimes they want the smaller profile of the Seiko. Sometimes they love these long, soft jerk baits from 6 cents. Now, the baits I'm going over today, most of the stuff that I like to throw, I call it my summer restock. I've given away so many baits over the last year that I need to go back and restock my own stocks so I can go out and fish, especially with all these tournaments I got coming up. But there's a lot of new baits out, and then a lot of baits that I really fell in love with last year that I really needed to restock. Let me start with some new baits first. Something new from Do It Molds has kind of changed the way I've been fishing this year. Normally in the hot dog days of summer, especially being in the kayak or out in the boat, I'm out dragging a big jig along points. They'll push out deeper and they'll sit on the outside edges of points and come up and ambush bait fish in the shallow water. But a new mold out from Do It Molds has got me trying something a little bit different this season. And most recently I've had success throwing this in somewhat stained water, throwing one of these magnets that I colored with chartreuse paint with the Z-Man Big TRDs. Now, this is more designed for a regular Ned head size based on its diameter, but hey, they're 4 inches long and it actually paired up really well. And this combination has caught me 3 of my bigger fish this year, including most recently a 5-pounder that was 20 inches long. I've been waiting for some restocks that I ordered a while back to come in to match the diameter of this big jig head. Z-Man makes a giant TRD. Picked up the Hot Snakes color, which is more of a green pumpkin with a dark top, and then also these copper truce with the dark back and more chartreuse color. Man, tell me these paired up, this should be super tempting. Now, I also painted some of these jig heads in more of a green pumpkin type color, so I picked up some Mag Fatty Z's in a green pumpkin. I also have some California Crawl bang sticks. It's kind of like a Cinco, but it's got 3 different little ticklers at the end of it. And then for this blue laminate magic cod crawler, I got some black blue laminate Mag Fatty Z's to pair up with these, and these are 7 inches. So I figure, hey, if I'm dragging baits that are 6-7 inches long off those points, maybe I can entice an even bigger bite. Who knows? We're going to find out this weekend. I also picked up some more big TRDs and some copper truce ticklers for regular Ned heads, in case I really need to downsize if they're not feeling the bigger bait. And for a Neko rig from Z-Man, I also got some copper truce finesse worms is what they call those. So if I really have to finesse it down, say we have a cold front come through, this may be the deal that I have to go with this way. That's what I picked up from Z-Man to go with these big Magnum heads that I've got. And I also got an order in from 6 Cents. I had to restock my white and my bluegill colored flush. But I also picked up some new baits they came out with. First up, you guys, most of you know that I love throwing a tube. So I picked up some of these crawfish crunch colored, they call it a crube. It's like a crawl tube. So I'll give those a little play. And then they came out with a new trailer for spinnerbaits, buzzbaits, and my beloved jackhammers. And these I got to give a big shout out and big thank you to Baxter the Baitman for letting me know to watch for these to come out the day they launched. So we've got some sexified shad, and we've also got the bluegill colored. Look how amazing this thing pairs up with this Mini Max in the bluegill color and that little juggle tail on it. Man, that's going to be a nice presentation in clear water. Again, a real nice color. Good. These will go good on the back, the 3/8 ounce spot remover. But I think these are going to make a deadly combination in the fall when those spawn shad are starting to grow and you want a little smaller bait. So this will be more towards the fall transition, but this juggle minnow on the back of a buzz bait or a jackhammer, yeah, I think it's going to be the ticket. Now this is also, again, dead of summer, especially in the heat of the day. For the most of the day, it's all about slow. You're dragging football head with creature baits. You're throwing a big 10-inch worm, Texas rigged, slow. If you think you're going slow enough, slow down. It's all about slow this time of year in the heat of the day. I also had to restock on my favorite 6 Cents worms. These big 10-inch ridge worms. Caught me some really good bass last year. I really like these worms. They smell good too. Bass love them. And then next up from X Zone, 4 1/4 inch adrenaline crawl. This blue laminate on the bottom with a darker back paired up with this magic crawl jig head. This should be a great combination again for dragging down those points, trying to entice a bigger fish. Not only do these claws grab the water, they also float. This does a really good job of standing up on the bottom and then presenting these claws that are in the up position floating up. Now the summer craw is always a favorite color of mine in the summer because you have more of the chartreuse on the bottom and then a darker color on the back to give it a little contrast. I love dipping these claws in JJ's Magic or Spike It, but those I can stick on these kind of green pumpkin or Bama craw jig heads and drag those down those points, hoping to entice again a bigger bite. Now again, for the Nico rig or shaky heads, depending on what I'm wanting to throw, I also picked up these also in summer crawl, these 6-inch MB fat finesse worms from X Zone. As you can see there, it's kind of like that copper truce, but they call it a summer crawl, darker back with the lighter bottom, big bulbous tail to stick up in the air. And if you're not familiar with those techniques, I'll be doing shorts on those in the very near future. These also be good to put on a drop shot as well. I also picked up some 3.5-inch mini swammers for more towards that fall transition. Throw these on little ball jig heads and swim them. And again, back to the Texas rig, fishing slow. I wanted a big worm, blue fleck, 11-inch blitz worm. Haven't thrown this yet. Saw these out there when I was ordering up those adrenaline craws. And yeah, had to add them to the bundle. And of course, you know, had to restock tungsten. There's 2 places I get my tungsten. American Legacy Fishing Company, no nonsense. They bought it in bulk. You're not going to beat their prices. But I also had some gift cards from the Monster Bass boxes, and I always use those gift cards to order things like bullet weights for throwing worms and drop shot weights. Why not? Now, if you're shopping for the Z-Man baits, AmericanLegacyFishing.com. Gramps 10 at checkout, save you 10%. 6 Cents stuff, and down in the description below, I'll put the link to Baxter the Baitman's code so you can save a little bit of money. If you're looking for X Zone stuff, I'll drop a discount code down there that'll save you, I think, 20 or maybe even 30%. Gramps got the hookup. So tell me, out of all these baits, what are you throwing in the summertime? What's your go-to when it's hot, and you have to just slow it down? Do you bail and get off the water when it gets hot outside, or do you suffer through? Because I'll tell you, it's not an old wives' tale when they say some of the biggest bass of the year are caught in the heat of the day. My brother and I think, have proven that over and over again. That 5-pounder I caught a couple weekends ago, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Gotta stick it out sometimes. When you're gonna go out and go fishing and you know it's gonna be hot, leave those energy drinks and the coffee alone. You're gonna need water, Propel, Gatorade Zero, some of those things to replenish your electrolytes out there on a hot summer day. My brother will tell you he's missed fish, being a little lethargic out there because he didn't stay properly hydrated. Make sure you're at the top of your game out there in the middle of the day. Don't take a chance at missing your biggest fish of the year, or potentially your PB. Drop me a comment down below. What baits do you like? What do you love throwing this time of year? Just remember, when it's hot, slow down, then slow down some more. Until next time, get outside when you can and make some memories. One cast at a time.